Hi guys, it's KINO. Welcome to another video. So as you can see from the title, today's pick a card reading is going to be all about your love life. We're going to get messages about the current energies of your love life, future predictions to see what or who is coming next in your love life, and we're also going to get some advice from your spirit guides. So there are 3 readings for you guys to choose from today. Today I do feel called to let you guys know that you could be drawn to multiple groups, and if you do, feel free to watch any and all. You don't need to limit yourself to just one. But yes, without further ado, let's give you a close-up look at each of your options. Option number 1 is Spirit Quartz. Option number 2 is Flower Agate. And option number 3 is Strawberry Quartz. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Spirit Quartz, this is going to be a reading all about what is coming up next in your love life. So here is the full breakdown of our reading today. We're gonna start off by taking a look at the current energy of your love life versus the upcoming energies. So that's what these 2 piles of oracle cards are for. And then for those of you who are single, we are gonna see the energy of a significant person who is entering your love life in the near future. Or if you are in a relationship or you already have a person, then we'll take a look at the current energies of your person. And then to finish off the reading, we are going to get some advice from your spirit guides to improve and have the happiest love life possible. So let's get started. We're going to take a look at your current energies first. So we have the grandmothers, remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. The fox spirit, think on your feet. And rose quartz, love life, very fitting. New or renewed romantic love is here for you. Okay, and then your upcoming energies, we have the rose garden, innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. We have the moth spirit, surrender now. And then we have ruby, bless your heart. Reach out for emotional and spiritual support to heal and mend your heart. Okay, so I do want to mention the numbers that we have here. We have the numbers 27 and 39, which could be significant ages, an age that you are or will be when something significant happens in your love life. It could also be the age of a significant person who is coming in. These could be dates, February 7th, July 2nd, or March 9th, September 3rd. And also, ruby is the birthstone of July, so the month of July coming up could be significant, or someone born in July could be. We have a lot of repeating R's too, like we have rose, rose, ruby. So R could be somebody's initial who is significant in your love life. Just little things that could be confirmation for you guys. Also look out for if you're seeing foxes or moths or images of those animals. They could be spirit animals that are with you at this time. But with all that being said, let's get into the actual meanings of these cards, because that is the most important thing. Starting over here with the grandmothers and the rose garden, it looks to me like something you are currently going through is healing a childhood wound, or healing a wound that is generational, and this is allowing you to be kinder to yourself. So you've maybe noticed that certain problems or patterns that come up in your love life, the way you treat yourself, the expectations you put on yourself, or the type of treatment you accept, it could go back to childhood wounds that you are now currently healing so that you can have a better, happier, and healthier love life. But I also think there's something about examining the relationships that your parents had. Now in this card, of course, it looks like a maternal line. So, the way your mother was treated, the way your grandmother was treated. Of course, it doesn't have to be the feminine parental figures. I think it more so has to do with looking at the relationships of the adults in your life when you were a child. What dynamics did you see playing out? And how might that affect the patterns in your own relationships? So this could be your parents' relationship, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, even if you had a sibling who was much older and you saw their relationships playing out. And this can also go both ways in the sense that maybe we are seeing some negatives in the way our parents got along and treated each other, and seeing how that affects, the relationship patterns we get into or the type of treatment we accept. But it could also be in the positive sense where we're saying, wow, my parents actually did have a great relationship and I want something like what they had. So it's gaining insights from the relationships that you witnessed growing up and figuring out how it is that you want to be treated or don't want to be treated, the dynamic that you do or don't want to have in your own relationship. There's a lot of wisdom that you can gain from observing the relationships that you were exposed to growing up. And again, like I said before, if there's a certain wound or insecurity that you deal with in your love life, upon examination, that could trace back to something in your childhood or something generational that was kind of passed down to you. But the bottom line here for your upcoming energy is that you are becoming so much kinder and gentler to yourself. And there's also this message of innocence and forgiveness. There could be something that you're finally making peace with the fact that it was not your fault. Whether that's your own relationships that didn't work out and you're realizing that, there was nothing wrong with you. There's no reason to blame yourself or be ashamed for the way that things happened. It could even be like if something happened in your parents' relationship or with the adults in your life, if there was kind of disharmony growing up, that also was not your fault and that's not a burden that you need to carry. So you're really lifting these weights off of yourself and showing yourself radical kindness and understanding and forgiveness. This is a really, really beautiful energy. And if you do have, parents, grandparents, older relatives who are still here on earth, they could even have some really beautiful relationship advice for you if you have a conversation with them. And actually, even if they're on the other side, they can still pass this advice down to you. So moving on now, we have the fox spirit, think on your feet, and we have the moth spirit with surrender. So I think a current energy that you're also letting go of is an energy of feeling like you have to walk on eggshells, a feeling that you kind of always have to watch yourself to make sure that you're doing the right thing, saying the right thing, not upsetting anyone. There could also be an energy you're letting go of where at the first sign of conflict, it's like you immediately go into damage repair mode. Like I'm just thinking of someone who is, springing up on their feet and thinking of how can I appease this person's feelings? How can I fix my mistakes? Rather than just, sitting in the discomfort and sitting in the conflict and feeling like it's okay that I'm upset right now, or it's okay that my partner is upset at me. It's okay that this uncomfortable situation is happening. It's like, some of you guys don't feel safe to be in that conflict or to be in that discomfort. It feels like something really bad is going to happen, whether that's like abandonment or getting hurt or being, tossed aside. There's a feeling of like, oh my God, if something's going wrong, it's like you're hyper vigilant. I have to fix it. I have to fix it. I have to be on my feet. Or I have to walk on eggshells so that it doesn't happen in the first place. It's like you don't have the grace to make mistakes in your relationships, or you have to be on guard rather than just softening and being safe in it. And I think that's something that you're healing as well. you're releasing that. It's interesting that both of these cards have a red hue. It is making me think of the root chakra, really allowing yourself to sink your roots into a relationship and say, this is not going anywhere and I am safe here. I can really fall into this and be comfortable in this. It's stable, it's secure. You're releasing an energy of overthinking as well. I'm imagining, well, this could go for if you're single or in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, you might overthink the exchanges that you have with your partner and wonder if they're upset at you or if you did something that's going to change their view of you. If you're single and meeting new people, you might, overthink when you're on these dates of like, how am I putting my best face forward and how are they perceiving me right now? And I think that kind of hyper awareness or overthinking energy is going to go away, where you just really ease into yourself and you're like, this is who I am. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but if it's the right person and if we love each other, we don't expect perfection from each other. We expect authenticity. So the right person, when it's the right person, I can show up as my authentic self and that will be enough and that will be okay. And if it's not the right person, then I don't have to be stressing over their opinion in the first place. There's a big release and just weights lifting that's happening with these energies, and it's really, really beautiful to see. Now this is really interesting too, because again, we have this message of healing and mending your heart in your future. So there is powerful healing coming in your future. But for your current energy, we have love. We have new or renewed romantic love is here for you. So this does make me think that a lot of this healing we're talking about for my group number ones will actually happen within a loving relationship, within a beautiful connection that you will have with the right person. So for those of you who are already in a relationship, exchanges that you have with your partner will be a significant catalyst to this healing. They will help you to feel like, I am safe, I am enough. Like, this is how I want to be treated. And for those of you, if you're not in a relationship or if you don't have a person yet, this is coming through in your current energy. So new or renewed romantic love is in your imminent future. And this loving relationship that you have with the other person, that's going to be a big part of this healing. Of course, a lot of our healing, it is done on our own. It is something that comes from within, but we heal through connections too. That's a huge part of it. And whatever connection you're currently in or that is imminently coming up for you, it's lending to this healing energy so beautifully. Okay, so this concludes your energy check. So the next thing that we're going to see is a significant person in your love life. So again, if you're single or if you don't have someone, we are going to see the energy of the next person who's entering your love life. Or if you already have somebody, then we're going to see the current energy of your person. Energy of a significant person in group number one's love life. We have the shaman. So this would be the Hierophant, divine wisdom and spiritual power. We have the Four of Crystals, control and security. So this would be the Four of Pentacles. Page of Crystals, Ideas and Discipline. So as you guessed, Page of Pentacles. And look at our fox here. Ooh, oh my gosh. Let's try that again. Wait, let me just... Let's get one last card for the energies of your person. Oh my gosh, all Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles or Knight of Crystals, endurance and determination. Wow, so this is all earth energy, Pentacles relating to the element of earth. And then this is the Hierophant, which is related to the sign of Taurus, also an earth sign. Taurus and Capricorn energy are coming through here. So this person, this significant person in your love life, they could very well be an earth sign or have prominent earth placements. Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo is the other earth sign. Or when I see a bunch of cards of the same element, it could also be that you and this person share the same dominant element. So for example, if you have a lot of water placements in your chart, then this person could also have a lot of water placements. It could be that interpretation as well. Also, we have Taurus and Capricorn energy here. I'm just like doing a bit of math. I think that there's 8 months, yeah, between Taurus season and Capricorn season. Yes, there's 8 months between Taurus season and Capricorn season. So like the period of 8 months could be, from whenever you're watching this, could be significant to your love life. But let's get into the energy of your person. First of all, I think that it's actually really beautiful that we have all this earth energy, because we've been speaking about you coming into an energy where you feel really grounded and safe in your love life, where you feel like you're in something stable and secure and something that is not going anywhere. And if there's one thing I can say about this person, is that they're in it for the long haul. They are like rock solid committed to you. The next person to enter into your love life is going to be a very, very long-term relationship, or the person that you're currently with. They're about to get real serious or be a lot more vocal about their commitment to you. They may even do something to solidify that commitment, because the earth also has to do with tangible actions being taken. So it's like they're doing something to express or re-express the fullness of their commitment to you, that you're going to feel very safe and just feel like, wow, this person is not going anywhere. But in no way do you feel stuck or tied down. And I think that that's illustrated in the fact that this card is an eagle, which is, I always say this and really should fact check it again. I think eagle is the highest flying bird, or one of the highest flying birds. So actually it's like the way this person holds you down, it allows you to fly really high and to reach your full potential. This is someone who wants to see you soar as high as you can. They want to see you achieve as much as they know you can in this lifetime, and they will always be there to lift you up. They will be your biggest supporter, and if there's ever anything that they can personally do to assist in you achieving your dreams, they will do it. This person is big on action and like showing up for the people that they care about. I would bet that acts of service is a big love language for this person, because it's like, I want to show you how much I care through my actions. I want to help build you up. I want to help you build your empire. I want to help you build up your life to what you want it to be. They're coming through as a beaver as well. So this is an extremely hardworking person, responsible. The beaver kind of has a feeling of a family man. It doesn't have to be a man, obviously. A family person, a family-oriented person, and someone who gets a lot of joy out of being a provider for those that they love. So they would get great joy out of making money for their loved ones, putting a roof over their loved one's head, even like, you know, feeding, cooking for their loved ones, making sure that they are nourished, making sure that they can grow. That's something that's really important to this person. And I think this person is going to start to express even more their desire to grow with you or their desire to build something with you. I think it's also quite likely that this person, they could be a life path 4 or a life path 5, or May 4th or April 5th could be a relevant date. I think this person is spiritual, or they are just embarking on a spiritual journey with this divine wisdom and spiritual power, meaning that you can talk to this person about what you're going through a spiritual lens, and that's something that they will understand. I think that intellectually and like mentally, this person is definitely on the same level as you. And I think that you also push each other to be more educated, to be more knowledgeable, to be more open-minded. You kind of expand each other's horizons like that. I think this is also someone who possesses a great deal of self-awareness. And also looking at this bird, like a bird's eye view, it's someone who's able to zoom out of the minute details of life, or zoom out of the current problems and see a bird's eye view. And this bird's eye view that they have, I think, often reminds them that like everything's going to be okay. So if you're the type to, like, if you fall back into these overthinking patterns, or like getting stuck in the same loop of unhelpful thoughts, or like hyperfixating on problems, this could be someone who really helps you to zoom out and remember that in the grand scheme of things, this is not going to matter so much. Everything is going to be okay. This is definitely someone who like challenges in life don't scare them. Financial troubles don't scare them. Health troubles don't scare them. Like families not getting along, whatever like external circumstances you could come up against with this person, it doesn't scare them away. Like they're here to weather any storm with you, and they really believe in the two of you as a unit. They really believe in your ability to weather any storm together. And yeah, this is definitely like obviously this is definitely a very committed person. They could be a teacher of some kind, a trainer of some kind, or a leader, a team leader. They could be like the manager of their department if they work for a company, or they could have their own company. But there's something about them like training people, or pulling the potential out of people, or guiding people to do the best work possible. That could just be how they are with their loved ones, but their career could also have something to do with that. I think this person's really good with money as well. I think that they're very financially healthy. I know this is super specific, but I just heard like debt-free. Like this person doesn't have debt. Maybe they've like paid off all of their student loans, or I don't know. It seems like they have good savings and they've made good investments for their long-term future. But for some of you, like it's not necessarily that this person has a super high paying job. I just think that they're really smart with their money. I remember at school we were reading this thing in a magazine about people who like they make a modest income, but because they just invest well and they have the right kinds of like credit cards to get points, and they're smart with like when they can get the best deal for things, they actually had like a really impressive, obviously I don't remember the actual numbers, but it's like, it's amazing what you can do with resourcefulness and like being smart with what you got. And I think that person definitely has that kind of resourcefulness. So, you know, whether you were like living paycheck to paycheck with this person or whether you had really good paying jobs, I think you would always feel secure. Like, we have what we need, and even if we don't, we're gonna figure it out. Like, we're gonna be okay no matter what. I think this is definitely a person that you have the potential to be with for many, many years. And as you get older together, it's like your lifestyle gradually gets better. And I think you would be set up to have really, really nice like retirement, or in the later stages of your life, you'll start to like live it up, you know? You might be a bit more modest when you're younger, and then as you get older, you just like, you start to live a little bit more lavishly. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. I do think that this person has like an entrepreneurial side to them. I think they're very like clever and also creative, maybe not in the artistic sense, but creative in that they have really interesting ideas for what could benefit society, or like what kind of service could benefit society, or what kind of business idea could be profitable, or what's like an untapped market. They have a keen eye for that kind of thing. And maybe that's what the fox is representing, that they have this kind of sharp and keen eye and like a good sense for business. That comes naturally to them. And I feel like the two of you would think about projects that you want to do together, or a business that you could start together, and things like that. You may even start some kind of venture with this person. And it almost seems like something that you would do for fun, or just for the experience of building something together. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles with endurance and determination. We've definitely spoke about these qualities that this person has. I think if anything, like any way that you could help this person is that just to remind them that just because they do have the ability of enduring a lot, it doesn't mean that they have to live like that all the time. And they can be, just like you're learning to be more gentle with yourself, and they're helping you to realize that maybe this person needs help realizing that as well. Because too often it's easy to give other people the very advice that you need. So this person could be super passionate about you being gentle with yourself, but they need to realize that they need to take their own advice too. You know, just because you can work for 12 hours nonstop, it doesn't mean that you have to push yourself to do that all the time. I think that's just one example, of course. I just think that maybe they need that reminder sometimes. Like, just because you're this camel who can go for however long without drinking, you're allowed to drink water before you reach your limit of thirst. Yeah, that kind of thing. I think this is someone who they don't seem like a big dilly-dallier, but they do seem like someone who takes things slow because they want to be thorough and they want to be sure that they're making the right decision. I think this will reflect in your relationship and how it progresses, that they will be the type of person to take things slow. I just saw 2727, by the way, which is the number of the fox. Fox seems to be like how this person is represented. They are like the fox. I mean, any of these animals, eagle, beaver, fox, camel, moth, could be relevant, but fox seems to be coming up quite a bit. And the number 27. So like you or this person could be 27, or like it could be the 27th of a month. Anyway, but it's slow and steady. It's not slow in the sense of there are delays, just that we're taking things really one step at a time. I think this person has a more, I want to say like maybe a more traditional view on dating, or like the progression of becoming a couple. They want to really like take it slow and get to know you well. But you will feel it's not slow in the sense of like, what's going on? We're not progressing. It's slow as in like, we're slowly but surely getting closer, and you can feel from week to week, from month to month, that your bond is solidifying and solidifying. So yeah, that's kind of their vibe. And yeah, we're good. Let's roll some dice and see if there's anything else you need to know about this person or your relationship. Okay, so we have the sign of Leo, we have the number 6, and we have Uranus. Leo and Uranus together, it's just making me think, for those of you who are sexual people, like if that's something you enjoy, this person could introduce you to like new or interesting things, or like kind of more exciting things than what maybe you've been used to. I also think that something about their personality is that I'm hearing they're actually very funny. So I think that their vibe, they don't strike people as someone who would be funny or someone who would have a huge sense of humor, because they seem so like serious and responsible and mellow. And I would say most of the time they are. But I just heard that like every now and then they'll just say something that is so out of pocket, and then you can't help but burst out laughing, or they'll just make the most weird joke out of left field or do something funny out of nowhere. And that kind of erraticness of their humor just makes it even funnier. Or it could be funny in the sense of like they say something hilarious, but they have a completely straight face. Maybe they don't even realize they're being funny, and then you're like dying laughing and they're like, what? And they're still not laughing. They're like, what's so funny? Yeah, so kind of like an erratic sense of humor. I do think that, you know, they are financially responsible for the most part, but then every now and then they will splurge, because all these energies together, it just seems like someone who, yes, they are very responsible and organized and put together, but then every now and then they'll just like live a little. Or like I'm imagining, let's say you have to go to like a distant relative's wedding, and then they start like hitting the bar and they become the life of the party, and it's just so hilarious because it's not their usual vibe, and now they're like break dancing on the dance floor and like I don't know, do you know what I mean? It's like there's this goofy like goblin that comes out of them. Like you never know when the goofy goblin is gonna come, but when it does, it's like really, really funny. I also have a feeling that if you had children or grandchildren together, they would be very, very silly around the kids, you know, and then they go back to the adults and they're like, yes, so as I was saying about the economy, it's like they have that kind of vibe. It's just like every now and then erratically they will become this like total clown, and I love that for them. Okay, so the last message is going to be from your spirit guides for advice in navigating your love life, or how to improve your love life. Oh, I should also say, so you have a page and a knight here. This person, I mean, obviously they could be any age, but according to this person could be like around the same age as you, like close in age, or they could be slightly younger. Or we do have the numbers like 4, 5, 6. You could have an age gap of like 4 to 6 years. Which, I don't know, I feel like that's pretty close in age. Group number 1's spirit guides, what advice do you have for them to improve their love life or to have the happiest love life possible? We have completion with the World. Why do I want to say travel? Like, to improve your love life. Maybe like going on a trip with this person could be a really good bonding experience, or just traveling and seeing more of the world could open your mind to the different types of relationships that exist, or the different types of dynamics that exist. I think a lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, the type of relationship we want and expect, and you know, our values, how we expect our partner to treat us, the spoken and unspoken rules of relationship, you know, a lot of that has to do with culture, and sometimes we don't think about it because it's all we know. We're like, of course this is how relationships are, but that's just our one-sided view. And so maybe something about like learning how other cultures view relationships, or just seeing the different types of relationships that are out there could be something that is eye-opening for you or validating for you. I think also, you know, just with the vastness of the world, you know, there's 8 billion people in the world now, crazy. And so there's 8 billion different ways to have relationships, and everybody's doing relationships differently, and nobody's doing it right or wrong. It's not about doing it right or wrong. It's about doing it in a way that works for you personally or doesn't work for you. And maybe just, it's like seeing more varied types of relationships and reinforcing this idea of like, there's no right or wrong way to be in my relationship. It's between me and my person. So let's say, for example, you and your partner decide that you don't want to have children, or you don't want to get married, or you don't want to be monogamous, like whatever it might be for you. I guarantee you there's already millions of people doing that. And it's very small-minded to be like, that's weird. That's not how you do a relationship. Like, and you might have, or people in your life might even have like a cultural bias of like, that's just not how you do it. Meanwhile, like in another country, that's like totally the norm. So I don't know. I think it's just about having an open mind and not judging yourself for how you want to do your own relationship. And also with this, in this deck being the keyword completion, I think, and you know, maybe this sounds a little bit cliche, but just recognizing that you don't need your person, or you don't need a person to complete you. And if you already feel complete within yourself, it's going to take a lot of pressure off the relationship. What else does group number 1 need to know? Spirit guides. We have the 5 of Wands. So there's a bit more Leo energy. I wonder if some of these people are like, and this actually has Leo energy in it too, because it's all the fixed signs. I wonder if we have some like Virgos with a dash of Leo situation going on. Don't be afraid of conflict. And I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, with not feeling like you have to always be on your feet, or always have to be in, you know, fixing mode or damage control mode, or always be walking on eggshells. Conflict is not inherently unhealthy, or it's not inherently a sign of incompatibility. It's how you deal with the conflict, and how you treat each other through that conflict, and how you choose to let it or not let it define your dynamic. And I think that, just going back to the start of this reading, I think a lot of people who chose this group, you might have a fear of conflict or a fear of confrontation. Like, if this conflict is happening between us, it means that we're doing something wrong, that we're not good for each other, or it means that I upset them and it's my fault, and if they're mad at me, then they're gonna break up with me. There's a fear of getting into it, I guess, like that. And I think your guides are just saying to not be afraid of confrontation and facing the issues head on, and also to not be afraid of some kind of fiery emotions. We might get a little frustrated or annoyed or even angry sometimes, and it's normal and healthy to have those emotions. Of course, if you're turning your anger into a weapon and like using it to hurt the other person, then yes, that is unhealthy. But having anger and observing your anger is healthy. Or like allowing yourself to be frustrated and to voice your frustrations, that's healthy. And that's always going to exist, like in interpersonal relationships, and it's not a sign that your relationship is failing, unless that's like 99% of your relationship. But I think it's about trusting yourself, trusting the other person, that yeah, these moments are going to come up, and when they do, we'll solve them together. And this is like the best person to do that with. But I think even outside of your love life, just getting more into the practice of not sweeping your negative emotions under the rug and confronting them, or confronting a person, calling out a person who needs to be called out. Getting more comfortable with that, I think, could help your love life ultimately. Ooh, and finally, we have more pentacles, the ruler of pentacles. So this would be the king of pentacles. Wow. So many freaking earth cards. This is definitely another confirmation of being able to last a long time with this person, being able to grow old with this person, or being able to mature a lot with this person. The King of Pentacles makes me think of someone who's very secure within themselves. They've, like a king who knows that he deserves to be king and that he's earned his position as king, so to speak. Or a CEO who knows that they've like worked really hard to earn their position. Or it doesn't matter what the king's position is, just that he knows he's meant to be there, and that he's good at it. It's like recognizing that you deserve a seat at this table. And I'm not sure if this just has to do with your love life. I think this is kind of a universal thing for your life, that when you receive success, you reaffirm to yourself that I am worthy of this success. I earned this success. I am meant to be here. I'm meant to be in this position. I'm meant to be in this role. Feeling comfortable in the space that you occupy is something that will help too. I guess working up a sense of self-esteem and a sense of self-worth, so that when good things come into your life, you're not thinking it was a mistake. So that when good things come into your life, you're not thinking, well, it's only a matter of time before they go away. Recognizing that good things are here and they're here to stay. And this is where you're meant to be. It's not a mistake. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, at the bottom of the deck, 10 of Pentacles, even more freaking earth. This is Virgo energy. And yeah, this is like literally the epitome of like a long-lasting family, a long-lasting home, prosperity, leaving a legacy, having children, having grandchildren, if that's something you want, but it's that long-lasting, prosperous family. And if you do plan to have descendants, or you do have descendants, you're definitely breaking generational cycles, like healing generational wounds that will allow them to have more fulfilling relationships as well. So anyway, I feel like I have rambled on for long enough. So these are your messages for your love life group number 1. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you would like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have a link down below. My tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. You can also choose topics for future videos. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, group number 1, and I'm sending lots of love to you, to your beautiful person, your families, whether that's your existing family or the family you will create together from here on out. And I'm sending love to your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 2s. So if you guys chose the flower agate, this is going to be a reading all about what is coming up next in your love life. So this is the full breakdown of today's reading. We're going to start by taking a look at the current energies of your love life versus the upcoming energies. So that will be these 2 piles of oracle cards. And then for those of you who are single, the next part of the reading is going to represent the energy of a significant person that will be entering your love life in the near future. For those of you who are in a relationship, you already have someone in your life, then this next part of the reading is going to represent the energies of your current person and where the relationship with them is headed. And then the last part of the reading is going to be advice from your spirit guides for improving and having the happiest love life possible. So that is our reading today. Let's get started with the current energies of your love life. We have the bloom, creations realized, right time, harvest, celebrate, 111 on the time as I'm holding this up. Then we have hawk spirit, let spirit be your guide. And we have Unikite, answered prayers. Wow, all your great work has opened the door for divine solutions and support. As for your upcoming energies, we have open, say yes, expand through the extremes, trust life. Then we have the skunk spirit, know your worth. And we have yellow jasper, control issues. Utilize your God-given strength and power instead of fearing that others may try to control you. All right, so I do want to point out the numbers we have here, 32 and 54, which for some of you watching, not everyone, but for some of you, these could be relevant ages that you are or that you will be when something big happens in your love life. They could also be ages of a person in your life or entering your life. They could also be dates, March 2nd or February 3rd, May 4th or April 5th. But most importantly, let's take a look at what these cards mean, because that really is the important part. It is really giving the vibe that my group number 2s have been manifesting. You have been manifesting something big and beautiful for your love life. And I think what we're seeing here is that is coming to fruition, that your prayers are being answered, that your manifestation is here. Because first of all, in your current energy, we have the bloom, which is talking about creations realized. It's talking about a harvest. So this seems to me like your inner work paying off, your manifestation efforts are paying off, and this is very literal, like your prayers are being answered. So for those of you who chose this group, maybe you're already starting to see these things coming to fruition, or if this is not the current energy, it can also be the energy of your imminent future. And I think that this is definitely confirming to my group number 2s that your love-related manifestations are literally around the corner. They are coming very, very soon. You have already planted the seeds. You've done the necessary work. If there were any necessary actions for you to take, you have taken them. And it's all ready to fall into your lap. That is just very strong, very straightforward, because in your future energy, for your future advice, like literally all you have to do is just open up to these blessings. All you have to do is say yes and allow them into your life. So whether you were trying to manifest a new person coming into your life or getting closer with a specific person, it's happening. This whole spread here is just a huge confirmation of that. With the hawk here and the skunk, let spirit be your guide, know your worth. Something that I think this group has been working on, and that maybe was, a part of your manifestation process, was working on feelings of self-worth, working on feelings of worthiness. And something that's coming through here is that if you were struggling to feel your worth, or if you were struggling to feel worthy, it may be that in our self-worth practices, we were kind of coming from it from an angle of building up the ego and making the ego feel worthy and valuable, and like building up the ego. Whereas I think what your spiritual team is trying to say here is that truly knowing your worth comes from knowing your connection to spirit, knowing that you are one with spirit, knowing that you are spirit itself, you are the universe itself, you are unconditional love itself, you are one with everything in this beautiful universe. And recognizing that truth, a beautiful side effect of that is like a really solid feeling of self-worth, and feeling that you are lovable and that you deserve love and that you deserve to be here, and that like your existence is a miracle and that you are so beautiful. Whereas like maybe previously, I hope that my explanation is making sense, but maybe previously when we were thinking, okay, like I've got to build up my confidence, I've got to say positive affirmations to myself, maybe what we were actually doing was affirming the interests of the ego, like building ourselves up like from an ego-based perspective. And when we connect more like from the lens of our connection to spirit and derive self-worth from there, it's a lot more sturdy. It's a lot less fickle. It's a lot stronger. It's a lot more meaningful. So I think you are in a phase of your life, or you're entering into a phase of your life where your feelings of self-worth are really derived from knowing that you are unconditional love, knowing that you are divinity itself, knowing that you are connected to all that is. That is something you're going to find that really makes you feel more whole and complete, and not just content, but happy and truly feel worthy. Approaching it more from that spiritual lens, or basing it more around your connection to spirit, rather than worldly things. I hope that makes sense. And I do think that's something that has or will greatly affect your ability to manifest your desires, not just in your love life, but in general. We are, or you are, on the precipice of seeing a really big manifestation come to fruition in your love life. We have answered prayers, which, like I said, is very literal. All your great work has opened the door for divine solutions and support. And I think a big part of this as well was letting go of control. And the illusion of control, it's also very much an ego-based thing, because our ego thinks that it's well informed with how things should happen and when things should happen and what is important and what needs to be in our life right now and where we're supposed to go and what the best outcome is. And the reality is that it really doesn't know. And I think something you've had to do in this process of manifestation is really suspend the judgments of your ego and say, like, I trust that my soul knows a better plan. I trust that the universe knows a better plan and has greater wisdom than my ego and is leading me to the perfect place. So I think this is really showing the work you've been doing and how that's now connecting to a future where you're seeing all these beautiful things manifest for you. So this is a lovely energy. We are going to jump into the tarot now and see the energy of your person. So again, for those of you who are single or don't have someone in your life, this will be the energy of the next significant person coming into your love life, the person that you've been manifesting. And for those of you who are in a relationship, you do have a person in your life, this will be like the energies of your current person. So let's get into it. Okay, group number 2's significant person. We have the Ace of Acorns, which came out very quickly, and this is the Ace of Wands, which I feel like is just highlighting how soon this is for you guys. Like the Ace, it represents a new beginning, and it also is like, it's fast, it's full of energy, it's a burst of energy. So it's happening soon. It's also happening kind of suddenly for a lot of you. We have the 5 of Shells, which is the 5 of Cups. It says hope and readjustment. We have the Emperor, focus and stability. And then, ooh, these cards are coming out fast, eh? And then we have the 10 of Acorns, which is the 10 of Wands, responsibility and dedication. So we have a lot of fire energy here, which again just could be indicating that things are really speeding up and this is an exciting and passionate time of your life. It could be indicating that your person has like a lot of fire placements. We especially have strong Aries energy here because the Emperor is related to the sign of Aries, and then on this Ace of Wands card, you know, we have a Ram, which is the sign of Aries. This is Leo energy here with the 10 of Wands, but any fire sign, so Sagittarius as well, could be significant. Fire could also be indicating that the spring season, the upcoming spring season, is going to be a significant time in your love life. And then with the 5 of Cups here, this is Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio energy, more particularly Mars in Scorpio. So that could be like a relevant placement of your person as well. But one thing I do want to say is that there's a feeling of receiving your manifestation and then almost getting discouraged because things aren't playing out exactly as you expected they would, and then sort of struggling with that idea of something's going wrong, I'm losing my manifestation, this isn't my manifestation. So let's say, for example, you have been manifesting a partner who is very expressive, openly emotional, very communicative, amongst many other traits. And then you meet this person and at first glance, they match so many of the traits of the person you were manifesting. So you're like, excellent, I've manifested my person. But then you notice that over time, they're not so communicative, they're not so expressive of their emotions. And you start to worry that maybe this isn't my person, or maybe my manifestation has fallen through. And I think it's really a matter of being able to, again, like suspend the judgments of your ego and how it thinks things are supposed to be happening. Because this could very well be your person, and they need time or they need life experiences to get them to evolve to that communicative, expressive, openly emotional person that you're manifesting. It's like, let the manifestation cook, let it reach its final form. Don't be too quick to pass judgments. And Aries can be impulsive, they can be the type to jump to conclusions and just, react before they really think things through. As an Aries, I can confirm. And so there is a feeling of like, you're receiving your manifestation, but not, you may not be giving it enough time to really become its final form, or like become what it's meant to be, and then make some snap judgments of like, this isn't it, something went wrong, I lost it. It's like, no, you didn't lose it. It just needs time. It needs time to become what you have been visualizing. And your ego might not know exactly like how and when that's going to happen. And I think these are things that like we know, but sometimes we just need to be reminded of that fact. Yeah. But now, let's take a look at the energy of the person who is coming into your life. This is definitely someone who is extremely passionate with this Ace of Wands, with this like Aries and Scorpio energy. They could have a pretty strong masculine energy. They don't even have to be a man or like a masculine presenting person, just that their masculine energy is strong. They could be someone who is a natural leader. They could be I'm hearing kind of the trendsetter of their friend group, or of the community that they're in. This seems like someone who a lot of people look up to them and want to be like them. They inspire a lot of people, and this is something that they do effortlessly. I don't get the sense that they're the type to be like, look at me and look at what I'm doing and you should be like me. It's just something that exudes out of them. It's the example that they live by, people are really inspired by that and want to be more like that. I get the sense that, and I'm sorry, this is like kind of a heteronormative thing to say, but like if you're with a man, it's like a lot of their male friends have bro crushes on them. And if you're with a woman, a lot of their female friends have girl crushes on them. Like that's kind of the vibe. It's like, people are just so in love with them and want to be like them. And they have that like radiant energy coming out of them. I think this would be someone who either they have a lot of physical energy, they're a very energetic person, or being physically active is something that is important to them. And at first I meant to say this from an athletic perspective. I wanted to be like, this person has a good balance because they have a lot of stamina to perform in intense bursts, but they also have endurance, like to go for a long time. Like they would be a good sprinter, but they would also be a good long distance runner. They have both of those qualities. And then I realize like explaining that it can also sound kind of sexual, which maybe is also true about them. But with the Ace of Wands, like there's definitely a sexual energy there too. Very strong chemistry, very strong physical attraction. There would definitely be instant sparks flying between the two of you when you meet. And I also think in that sense, like in relationships, in intimacy, this is the type of person who likes to take the lead. And I think you would see that when you're dating. For example, they would maybe like to be the one who plans the date. Not that you can't, obviously they're not like a control freak in that sense, but just that they don't mind being the one to initiate and saying like, I would like to take you out on this date and I think we should go here and we should do this. So if you're kind of like the indecisive person who's like, I don't know where I want to go. Oh, I'll eat anything. Anything's fine. Like, they're like, perfect. Like, yeah, you can just leave it to me. Like, I'll plan the stuff. And they don't mind being the one to make the first move either. They would likely be the one to approach you first, to, you know, confess their feelings first, to initiate being in a relationship. They really, really don't mind making the first move. I'm just thinking of, I just imagined a classroom, like maybe there's presentations and the teacher's like, who wants to go first? And it's crickets and nobody raises their hand. And this person is like, I'll go. Like, they just, and they're not afraid to dive head first into like where other people haven't gone before. If there's, you know, and I don't know, maybe that's gotten them in trouble sometimes. Maybe as a kid, they would often get into some sticky situations or get hurt because they just like, they don't fear things. Like a curious cat energy. They're like, I'll do it, I'll go, I'll try it. They have that kind of adventurous vibe to them. But I actually think it's quite charming and endearing. I do get the sense that this person has become more like responsible as they've matured, but I still think they have that little daredevil side to them and that thirst for adventure side to them. Yeah, I think this person, I'm hearing they're creative. They can be creatively talented when they want to be. So I think this is maybe someone who, they're not actively pursuing creative things, but they can when it comes the time to. What do I mean by that? Let's say you're at like a party with all of your friends and you're at a campfire and someone brings out the guitar and all of a sudden your person starts singing and like they can carry a tune. They can sing a mean song. They can maybe even like strum on the guitar. Like, they have that talented bone in them. But I feel like when it comes out, it comes out. That's the kind of feeling. I don't see this as someone who's like actively pursuing creative things, but they have rhythm, they have soul, they have that like creativity. They might have a really good taste in music, a really good taste in fashion. It's definitely something that they appreciate a lot. And I also think that this person is very clever and they can stay calm under pressure, which allows them to find the solution to problems faster. Because you know when you start panicking and then you start fumbling and it actually takes longer because you're anxious and rushing, it's like they're able to just stay calm and objective and solve things quite quickly. Yeah. I don't know why that was so hard for me to explain, but that seems to be their vibe. I also, like, the word siblings just came to my mind. So this person could have a lot of siblings or have like a close relationship with their siblings. I'm almost getting like an older sibling vibe from them. Like there was a feeling of being very protective over their siblings or very generous to them. Like they would do anything to help them. They would drive, 3 hours out of town to help their sibling move, or, they will do anything for their siblings because they have a close relationship, like a friendship with their siblings kind of. So moving on, we have the 5 of Cups. I do think that at times, we have hope and readjustment here. So I don't think this is a fixed part of their personality. I think it's maybe just a habit that they've gotten into. I think that they can sometimes be a glass half empty kind of person, like a pessimistic person, because that is a meaning of the 5 of Cups. We often see it depicted as a person who has some spilled cups and some cups that are standing up, but they're focusing on the spilled ones. And everyone's brain has a negativity bias, so this isn't a judgment on them. Well, I don't know if I can say everyone so confidently, but I know that the brain does tend to have a negativity bias. But I think that they might indulge in that negativity bias a bit more often when it comes to, you know, things going their way, or even like when it comes to their own performance. You know, like if they had like 4 weeks in a row of really good performance at the gym, and then they had an off day, they might really focus on that off day rather than like the 4 weeks that they just had that were really good. I don't know, like I think you guys get the picture. Like just a little bit of pessimism or focusing on the negative stuff. But like I said, I don't think this is a fixed part of their personality. You know, the number 5, it talks about change. It talks about being able to go either way, because it's in the middle, right? It's in the middle of the numbers, like from 1 to 9. So this is something that can be adjusted for them. So maybe with more of a positive influence around them, they can learn to be more optimistic. You know, even the fact that this is, actually, I think that's a firefly, but I was going to say it looks like a moth. It looks like, you know, the ability to transform, the ability to change. And that might actually be something that you notice about this person, where like if they've planned a date for you and everything was going perfectly, and then one little thing like they perceived went wrong, they might be like, oh man, like I'm really sorry about blah blah blah. Like maybe they were late to pick you up, but then you had a beautiful date together, and they'll just be like, I'm so sorry I was late, like I'm so sorry I kept you waiting. And you're like, damn, that's your takeaway from our time together? Like we had an amazing time. And I think they might just need a bit of help. And I'm noticing now that this bug has its back turned on 4 out of 5. So it's like literally the majority of the stuff is good, but you're not looking at it. You're looking at that one thing that went wrong. And it kind of reminds me of like, you know, being on YouTube, you tend to focus on that one comment that was mean, even though you get like dozens of hundreds of positive and loving comments. You know, it's just the joys of having a brain. But that could be something that they just need a little bit of extra help with. With the Emperor here, this is definitely a highly independent person. I honestly think this could be someone who, like, they would be happy being single indefinitely, honestly. Which, that's not like, no offense to you, obviously. I think they're very happy to be with you, but they're not that type of person who's like, I just want to meet somebody, I just need to find my person. And not that there's anything wrong with people like that, but I honestly think it's good for you, because it really just validates that if they're choosing you as a partner, it's because they really, really like you and really, really want you, and it doesn't come from any void they're trying to fill of like, I just want to be in a relationship. I was with someone like that once. I honestly think they were just trying to get married, because I think like maybe their parents kept asking them when they're going to get married. I don't know why, I'm just speculating, but it feels kind of lonely, because it's like, man, do you even like me for me, or do you just want to, you know, tie the knot and get it over with? So I think the fact that this person is so independent and would be perfectly happy single, it really just shows that they like you for you specifically. Yeah, I think they've shown independence from a young age. They maybe moved out of their childhood home at a pretty young age. And I know like the age where you move out can differ depending on like the country that you're in. So I think compared to most other people where they grew up, they maybe left their house early. They maybe got their first job at quite an early age because they wanted to be independent. They wanted money that, you know, to spend however they want. It doesn't necessarily feel like it came from a place of necessity. You know, like I had to just fend for myself. It seems more like they had the desire. They didn't like depending on their parents, because then they had to, you know, they felt like if I'm depending on my parents, then my parents can tell me what to do. And I don't want them to tell me what to do. I want to do what I want to do, so I'm going to make my own money. I'm going to live in my own house so that I don't have a curfew and I can come home whenever I want. It's like they just wanted to be free. This is definitely The Emperor's very much their own person. They don't want to be told what to do. I feel like that's an Aries thing as well. Yeah, they want to just go to the beat of their own drum. And this would probably be something that reflects on their professional choices. So they might choose to be self-employed or choose to have a career where there's, you know, they have more freedom, or like they're the one who gets to call the shots and decide. Like they don't really want to take orders, basically. That's the vibe from them. This does give the vibe, Emperor to me gives the vibe of someone who, they can honestly come off as a bit intimidating at first, but once you get to know them, they're just like the sweetest little baby. You know, looking at the cat on this card, it would be like on the outside, they might look like a ferocious lion, but on the inside, they're like a little fluffy kitten. Yeah. And it could be something about their demeanor. They could be a little bit quiet at first. They could have like a kind of serious face that the first time you meet them, you might be like, oh my gosh, does this person like me? Like, I can't tell. But then once you get to know them, they're just so like sweet that it melts your heart. They're very soft on the inside, this one. Yeah. And I'm hearing like, I don't know what this means. They're mature in some ways. I guess sometimes they could come across as immature if like, because they can do some like impulsive things, or maybe they have kind of like a silly sense of humor, but they're mature in the sense that they can take care of themselves, they can take responsibilities, they can follow through on the work that they're supposed to do, they can discipline themselves. So I guess they're mature without being, they can still be childlike, they can still be silly. And then finally, we have the 10 of Wands with, responsibility and dedication. This is kind of a challenging card as well. It can, when we're talking about someone's personality, it can indicate a workaholic or someone who is hard on themselves, someone who tends to overexert themselves. And I can definitely see this being true for this person, you know, especially if they have a little bit of a negative bias. They might really focus on, rather than focusing on all of the areas where they've performed super well, they might focus on that one area that needs work and then, you know, beat themselves up about it, or try to overwork to like compensate for this one perceived flaw, whether that's, you know, in a professional sense, again, I want to mention like an athletic sense, I don't know, in a physical sense, whatever it might be. And it can also be, this is about holding burdens. So this could also be the type of person when they're struggling emotionally, they just keep it to themselves. Because I guess they don't want to make a big thing of it, with finger quotes, as if somehow like vocalizing it makes you're making a scene, or you're making a big deal, or you're making it someone else's problem. And I think that maybe also comes with their independent nature. They're like, no, I'll just deal with it myself. So I think what they'll find in their relationship with you is that they don't have to deal with these struggles on their own. And it's funny because I'm thinking about that example that I gave where you're trying to manifest someone who can be open about their emotions. And it's not that this person isn't emotional. They've maybe never really done it before, and they need some time to like come out of their shell and first of all, put their own feelings into words for themselves to understand it, and then to communicate that to someone else. It's like a muscle that needs practice. And so it's not that they're intentionally closed off to you. It's like they've just never really worked that muscle before. And I think with you, they're kind of learning how to be more in touch with their emotions and recognize that like we should be talking about this because it's important. And it's not a burden. It's even like, I'm sure when this person opens up to you, you don't feel like they're burdening you. It probably also feels like a burden lifted from you, because you have that burden of worrying, like, are they okay? What's going through their head right now? I wish I could understand them better. So them opening up they think it's burdening you, it's actually lifting a burden from you, ironically. So learning, they're going to learn a lot, I think, from being with you. And I'm sure you're going to learn a lot from being with them too. But this is their energy, obviously, that we're looking at right now. And it's very nice to see. And they deserve it. They deserve to loosen up a bit. They deserve to pat themselves on the back more rather than focusing on like that one thing that went wrong. And to feel like their emotions have a place to be vocalized. So yeah, this is the person who's coming into your life, or this is like the energy of your current person. I almost forgot, I want to roll the dice. Anything else you need to know about this relationship or how it will be progressing? Ooh, we have the moon. We have the 10th house. So that's very interesting to me because the moon, it is about your inner world. It's about your emotions. And the 10th house in the zodiac wheel is the most visible part of the sky because it's like, it represents noon, you know, when the sun is like at its highest point, most visible. So it's like emotions, our subconscious, our inner world is becoming visible. And so I think that this is the energy for both of you. I think being together, it helps you make the unconscious conscious. It helps you unearth the hidden parts of yourself. And then we have Sagittarius too, which is like, first of all, it's learning. I think you're learning about yourselves and learning about each other. It's also like expanded awareness, which makes a lot of sense. But it's also zooming out and looking at the bigger picture. So when you are exposing these subconscious beliefs, subconscious desires, subconscious fears, you don't have to identify with them so closely. It's like you're unearthing them to be observed, but you're observing them. You're zooming out and observing them, I guess, from an objective place or from a detached place, not from a place of judgment. So, for example, let's say you discovered that deep in your shadows, there is a part of you that is deeply jealous. And oftentimes, we don't like associating ourselves with this trait. So it's like, rather than unearthing that and being like, oh my God, this is who I am, I'm just like a jealous person, and like really identifying with it, we're bringing it up and then just examining it and observing it and being like, oh, this was something that I was experiencing. This is something that I was holding. And this is part of being human. So not getting so attached to it, I guess is what I want to say, and not viewing it from a judgmental place, or not identifying with it too much. Just being in like a open-minded, non-judgmental, observing energy. Yeah, that was, yeah. I feel like I'm not being very like eloquent for this group, but anyway, something else that's interesting, you know, this can be indicative of travel. This can be indicative of your career. This can be indicative, you know, with the moon, it's the fastest moving body from our perception from Earth. And it's about like phases and cycles. So there could be something where like you or your person or both of you are frequently traveling for work, or you will move around a lot throughout the course of your relationship together. You might spend summers in this city and winters in that city. Kind of feels like you are moving around. Maybe even the moon having to do with your phases and your emotions. It could even be on a whim for some of you, like just based on how you feel. So I think you'll have a lot of freedom in your life with this person. If you're like, hey, you want to go to Europe for 6 weeks? Okay, Do you want to go here for the winter? Okay. It seems like you'll enjoy a period of your relationship where you're just very free. So maybe both of you will have like freedom in your careers, and yeah, you can move around as you please. And I do think you'll go on a lot of adventures with this person, because thirst for adventure is close to their heart. Maybe it's close to your heart as well. But yeah, I think that's what these dice are talking about. Yeah, all the fire signs have appeared, because we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and then we have Scorpio. This could be indicating Capricorn energy, and this could be indicating Cancer energy. And these could, you know, we could combine these to be, you know, Moon in Sag, or Sagittarius midheaven, Moon in the 10th house. You know, it could be something like that too. But anyway, for the final part of this reading, we are going to get some advice from your spirit guides for improving and having the happiest love life possible. Spirit guides of group number 2, what advice do you have for them? We have the 7 of Pentacles. So patience, very interesting. I do feel like something's manifesting very, very soon in your love life, but then it takes time for it to fully evolve. So for example, if you're single, you could be meeting someone very, very soon. But then from the time that you meet to the time that you're in the relationship that you want to be in, that could be something that takes time. Yeah, this is really just about patience, and it's about, I often think of the expression labor of love with this card, and, you know, making sure that you're sticking around for the right reasons, and that you're putting in effort for the right reasons. So I'm sure I'll think of an example, but it's kind of the feeling of like intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. And this card is encouraging to find things that you are intrinsically motivated to do. So you're motivated because you enjoy the actual process of what you're doing. You're not motivated because of some like external thing that you think you're going to get from it. This is really strange, but the example that's coming to my mind is like raising a child. And it's like, you're intrinsically motivated to do it because you're like, I love my child. I love taking care of them. I love watching them grow into the person they're meant to become. It's inspiring. It's like, I'm just in awe of them and who they're becoming. And I'm so proud of them. And I just love them so much. Whereas like, extrinsic motivation, and I don't even like saying this, but it's like I'm raising them with the expectation that if I raise them well, they'll, you know, get into the job I want them to be in. They'll become the person I want them to become. Which means that if you went through all of that process of raising them without intrinsic motivation and they become something else other than what you wanted, you would be like, ugh, like what a waste. Oh my God, that's such a weird example. Like, and unfortunately, I'm sure that case exists in, you know, for some people, but it's, you want to enjoy the effort, enjoy the process of putting in the work, so that no matter what happens, there's no outcome that would be like, ugh, like what a waste of time. Because the whole reason I was doing this was because I wanted this one thing out of it, rather than because I just liked the process of it. I hope that makes sense. There's advice of like, I guess not holding on to things or sticking to things just because of one potential outcome that you think you can get out of it. Yeah. Yeah, there's also the example of like someone making an album like just because they won a Grammy. So that, and then like if they didn't win a Grammy, they're like, oh, what was the point of making that album? Whereas like if you're intrinsically motivated, you're gonna have such an amazing time making that album. Everything that you learn, the people that you meet, the beauty of expressing yourself. I guess that it's just like, are you enjoying the process? Are you enjoying the process of whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that you're manifesting? Are you enjoying the process? Do you realize that this process is a gift that no matter what ends up happening, it can't be taken away from you? Or is it like, what I'm doing now could be enjoyable or it could be a huge waste of time depending on how things turn out? And they're kind of discouraging you from that mindset. Woo! So we have the Ruler of Pentacles, which is the King of Pentacles. That came out for group number 1 as well in this section of the reading. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, lots of Pentacles energy coming through. Lots of Pentacles energy. The Six of Pentacles in case of love. Yeah, because we have Know Your Worth too. The Six of Pentacles in the case of love, it does make me think of reciprocity. It makes me think of a balanced exchange of energy where, you know, both parties are putting in equal effort. Both parties are, you know, compromising an equal amount, you know, showing up the same amount, giving and taking the same amount. Of course, we're not like keeping score of every little thing, but it feels harmonious, it feels balanced, it feels reciprocated, and they're reminding you of the importance of that. And when this card came out for group number 1, I was talking about feeling worthy. So I think that meaning is carrying over to this group as well, especially with the Know Your Worth. Your spiritual team could be suggesting that if you've accepted less than what you deserve for a long time, when things do come into balance, you might feel like you are taking too much. And I think that being with this person, it is going to be very equal and reciprocated, but you might feel uncomfortable at first because you feel like it's out of balance and that you are getting too much. You're so used to it being 90-10 or like 80-20, where you're giving 80% of the effort and your partner's giving 20, that when you enter into a relationship where it's 50-50, you feel like almost like you're being selfish. You feel like you're receiving too much and you feel like, oh my gosh, I need to give more. But this is something that I want to say that you'll grow out of, or that will subside as you exist within this relationship and within your other healthy connections. I feel like you have some beautiful friendships as well, either currently in your life or that are in your future, that will also help you to realize you have room to receive a lot more without feeling selfish, without feeling like you're taking, and to recognize that when people love you, like serving you and putting in work for you and giving to you makes them happy. And it's like, let them do it, you know? Let them do it. make them happy. This is something I was kind of thinking out even the other day for myself. Like when someone offers something to me, like to help me or to make my life easier, I feel like my first instinct is to be like, no, it's okay, it's okay. And I've been trying to just be like, thank you, you know? Like that's really nice of you. Couple Taurus cards here. We have the Moon in Taurus and Saturn in Taurus. Okay, and then we have the Moon, which is funny because we had the Moon here as well, Pisces energy. So yeah, being open about our feelings and making the unseen seen, making the unconscious conscious, and feeling safe to do that around your person will be really helpful. It feels like emotional intimacy to me, and that includes showing the good, the bad, and the ugly of yourself, and recognizing that having these insecurities, having these weaknesses, whatever it might be, that doesn't make you any less worthy, because every single person has shadows. Every single person has a dark side. And I say that with finger quotes, you know, a hidden side, a side that they maybe are ashamed of, that they feel is ugly. We all have that. And so if you're going to say that makes you unworthy, then you're calling everyone in the world unworthy. This does not change how lovable you are, how worthy of love you are, how worthy of respect you are. And it's not going to change how your person views you. So becoming more comfortable with your shadows, and not saying like I'm worthy of love even though I have these shadows, but saying with my shadows and all, I am worthy of love. They don't subtract anything. Yeah. And ooh, we have Divine Feminine as well. It was just funny. This is Empress energy. I was just about to say like pay attention to your dreams, and then I feel like with Divine Feminine coming out, that's a confirmation of that. But yeah, I mean, kind of obvious, but self-love, self-worth, those feelings will greatly improve your love life. So yeah, also like appreciating your own beauty, and letting your partner appreciate your beauty, and being comfortable in that, and just like letting yourself be beautiful from the inside and out, allowing yourself and your partner to enjoy how you look. Could be like your body too. Yeah, anyway. So these are all the messages I have for your love life, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I will have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of timeless, exclusive pick-a-card readings just like this one, and you can also choose the topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, I will link my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, group number 2, and I'm sending lots of love to you, to your person, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and your higher selves, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the strawberry quartz, this is going to be a reading all about what is coming up next in your love life. So this is the full breakdown of the reading today. We're going to start by seeing the current energies in your love life versus the upcoming energies. So that's what these two piles of oracle cards are for. Then in the next part of the reading, if you are single, or if you don't have a person in mind, then in this part of the reading, we're gonna see the energy of a significant person who's about to enter into your love life in the near future. If you're already in a relationship or you already have a person, then we will take a look at the energies of your current person and where the relationship with them is headed. And then for the last part of the reading, we'll get some advice from your spirit guides on improving and having the happiest love life possible. So this is our reading today. Let's get right into it, starting with the current energies surrounding your love life. We have the sacred waters, nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self-care. We have the swan spirit, time for a deep dive. And tiger's eye, self-confidence through God confidence. Believe in yourself by believing in God working through you. And then for your upcoming energies, we have codes of the seeds. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. Dolphin spirit, this and that are true. And lapis lazuli, life-changing epiphany or experience. It's a time of big and blessed change for you, and God is supporting you each step of the way. Oh my gosh, I love the color scheme of these cards, like the pinks and the blues. It's really pretty. So we have the number 60 and 20 here, which could be significant ages for some of you. Maybe this is just for a few of you, but the age of 20 or the age of 60 could be significant. These don't really make dates by themselves, but like June 2nd or February 6th could be a significant date, or the 20th of a month. These could also be indicative of a 2-year age gap or a 6-year age gap in a relationship. But it's really the meanings of the cards that are most important to figure out if this is your group. So let's get into those. But I should mention swan, dolphin, and also the tiger could be important spirit animals for you at this time. It does look for my group number threes that you have been in a bit more of an introverted or introspective energy recently. It seems like you're taking more time to yourself. You may be focused on your healing, on your spiritual development. You may be focused on taking care of your mental health right now. You may be resting a bit more, which I'm hearing is a very good thing. Your spiritual team is encouraging you to take more rest if you feel that you need it. And just living a bit more quietly right now, getting back in touch with yourself, with your body, and with your soul. This is a very specific message for a few of you, but just looking at this image, it looks like a baby in a womb, with their head facing down and like they're ready to be born. Some of you could be preparing to welcome a child into the world, or this could be a sign for those of you who are trying to have a child and actually, if you've been noticing that you feel like more tired or feeling a shift in your energy, it could be because you're welcoming a little one. That's just a confirmation for some of you, okay? That's really not like a general message for everyone, but I did want to mention that. I think for most of you, you're just processing energies, and so that is taking a bit more energy than usual, and so you might find that your physical body is more tired, more in a restful state. You might not have so much social energy as usual or mental energy as usual. And so when it comes to your love life, I don't know. I wouldn't say that your love life is stagnant. It just may not be the biggest focus for you right now. It doesn't seem like the biggest thing that you are embracing or focusing on at this time. This energy feels more inward and it feels more about you. But with that being said, in our future energies, in our upcoming energies, it does look like we're coming out of this. It's so interesting that the swan says we're taking a dive, but then the dolphin is jumping out on top of the surface. So it's like you've turned within, you've taken time to yourself, and pretty soon you're going to be like this playful dolphin jumping out of the water, and you're going to be ready to get back out there. It almost feels like an animal that has come out of a long, restful, and necessary hibernation, and now it's spring, and it's like they're ready to start an exciting new chapter of their life. So if you are feeling this kind of winter energy, so to speak, I think there's a piece of advice to embrace it and know that your spring season will come around, just like how after every winter, there is always a spring that comes. Your spring season will come back around where you feel like, getting back out into the world and maybe traveling or going to see friends or meeting new people and mingling. Like that energy will be coming back around. And there's sort of a feeling of, it's almost like you've been in a meditative state for quite some time, listening within for answers. We have this card that's talking about an epiphany coming to you, and we also have this card that's saying the blueprint is within you. And this is just giving me the vibe of you being in a state to receive downloads. And I think that the upcoming energy for you is that you are going to receive some big epiphany about your love life. And it's kind of being suggested here that the only way that this epiphany could have come through is if you did embrace this like slower and more introspective energy, which I think you are. And then out of that silence, out of that calmness comes this epiphany where you realize what you need to do in your love life, or you realize what you truly want. You realize what choice you need to take. And I think you are coming out of this energy more lighthearted. There may be certain things that were weighing on you with regards to your love life, that coming out of this energy, you now feel a bit more lighthearted towards those worries. They're not weighing on you as heavily anymore, and you're realizing that everything's okay and you're going to be okay. And it was only ever about doing what made you happy at the end of the day and doing what your heart really wanted to do. But it's like your mind was making it complicated. So you're coming out of this with clarity and also like excitement and happiness of like, yes, I know what I really want. Yes, I know what I really need to do. And lapis lazuli, it does make me think of truth and communication. So for some of you, you might be coming out of this realizing that you need to be more direct with someone, or that you need to have a heart-to-heart or be more expressive with someone, or you're just coming out of this with more clarity about what you're looking for in a partner or something like that. But it's interesting because I feel like with this message of this and that are true, it's almost as if there was maybe a certain answer that you were hoping to get out of your soul searching, and when you come out of it, you're like, well, actually, I didn't even get the answer that I was looking for in the first place, but I feel so much clarity. I feel so much better. So I'll just give one example of this. Let's say someone was entering into this soul searching and reflective energy, and this big thing that they were pondering is like, is Josephine my soulmate? And they're like really focused on it. Is like, I really want to figure out like, what's my spiritual connection to this person? Is this person my soulmate? And they have this epiphany of like, it doesn't matter. And that liberates them. And they realize that what really matters at the end of the day is that this person makes me really happy. And by hyper fixating on this element, I've just been overcomplicating things and freezing myself, where I'm not taking a move towards this person, and I keep waiting for external information. And I'm realizing that if this person makes me happy, like that is enough. Like I want to honor that. I want to just be lighthearted with this person and enjoy the millisecond we have together on this tiny little blue dot, and I want to go tell them how I feel. And you feel so excited about that. So it's like you may not even get the answer to the original question you asked, but you come out of it. It's like, I don't know if you've ever like watched a pick a card reading. This has happened to me before, where you're like clicking on it because you kind of are hoping for a certain message to come out, or you want answers or confirmation about a certain thing, and then the reader doesn't talk about that at all and is talking about something completely different. But then you're like, I actually realized I needed that message more. So even though I didn't get the answer I originally clicked for, I came out of this with like a million other insights that I'm so happy about. And it's like that kind of feeling. So if there's like a particular like answer that you're looking for with regards to your love life, it might not even be necessary. And that realization, I think, is going to be really, it's going to be like a weight lifted, where you're like, oh wait, I can just do what makes me happy. Oh wait, I can just listen to my heart in this situation. I can just go and talk to this person. I can just go and tell them how I feel, or I can just be with the person I like, or be with whoever I want. There was something you were putting pressure on yourself to like get right or to have figured out, that you're realizing was taking away from you like just enjoying the moment. And there's a feeling of like, life is too short. I just got to like do what I really want to do. I hope that makes sense. So oh my gosh, I just looked up and saw 1122. So that's definitely a confirmation. So this is your energy. Let's get into the energy of your person now. So again, if you don't have a person, this will be the energy of the next significant person to enter into your love life. If you do have a person, we'll be taking a look at their current energies and where the relationship is headed. Number three's person. What are the energies of group number three's person? The Seven of Pentacles, it did flip over, but it didn't come out. So there's a feeling of some of you guys have been waiting on someone. We have the Hermit, contemplation and wisdom. I feel like this is your energy too. And that koala is so cute. We have the Five of Acorns, so this is the Five of Wands, with challenge and growth. We have the Queen of Crystals, which is the Queen of Pentacles, comfort and prosperity. And we have the Three of Feathers, which is the Three of Swords, release and recovery. In terms of zodiac signs that are here, we have Leo, Virgo, and Libra energy. So someone who has those placements could be significant. And that kind of makes sense since all of those signs are next to each other. Like people often have like Sun, Mercury, and Venus. Not often, always have Sun, Mercury, and Venus in signs that are close to each other. So this person could be like a Leo with Virgo and Libra placements, or a Virgo with Leo and Libra placements, or something like that. Also, those seasons span over a 3-month period. So it could also be an indication that the next 3 months are going to be very significant in your love life. Something will manifest in the next 3 months, or you'll meet someone or reach a new level of commitment in the next 3 months. It's interesting that, you know, the energy of your person is coming through as the Hermit, because I feel like you've been in your Hermit energy as well. And so whether you know this person or you don't know them yet and they're just somewhere out there, I think your journeys are kind of synced in some way, where like you'll both go into hermit mode at the same time and learn tough lessons at the same time. You may even have your epiphanies at the same time, and your, leveling up in life at the same time. It does feel like your journey is kind of synced. The swan does make me think of mirroring, because like the swan glides so gracefully on the water that you can like perfectly see their reflection. So I think this person is definitely your mirror. I would say, at least on the outside, just looking at these two animals facing each other and the difference between them, this animal seems very loud and dominant and out there, and this animal seems more like small and meek and timid. You could externally give off those differences, where one of you seems like the more confident one, or the louder one, or the more extroverted one, if you will. I know like extroversion and confidence are not necessarily related, but the more like out there one, I guess. And then one of you is more like the quiet or reserved or introverted type. But I think that from a soul perspective, your journeys are quite similar. And I want to say like your makeup is quite similar. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but like the makeup of your soul is quite similar. So it looks like they're also going through this hermit mode. They're also going through this period of soul searching. There is also a message coming up for you guys that it's kind of like once you let go, once you detach from the outcome of things, or you detach from the expectations of how things need to go, things will start moving a lot faster in your life. Things will start manifesting a lot faster. And there's this feeling of the more tightly you cling on, or the more you obsess over things, it's going to cause resistance and blockages. So it's like letting go is the fastest way to receive what you desire. I think that the energy of your person, they've been through a lot of crap in their life, but they've made it work for them, is how it's coming through. They've taken the lessons out of those hard experiences that they want to keep and thrown away the rest. So they're very empowered in the sense of knowing that the narrative around what has happened to them is theirs to create. And so, I don't have to live with this BS that happened to me forever. And I also don't have to throw it away and pretend like it never happened. It's up to me to choose. I can take the lessons that I want to take. I can take the memories that I want to take. And the rest, I don't have to let it define me. They can take... it's like they can take the lemons from life and make the lemonade that they want. It has that kind of vibe. I think that this is someone who is also, they've worked really hard to find their own essence, rather than just being influenced by the people around them and like matching others' energy. They've worked really hard to find their own unique energetic signature and who it is that they really are, like to find their sense of self. So maybe in the past they were someone who was like impressionable or easily influenced, which matching others' energy is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think that this maybe was something that they just did like to gain approval of others. If I match my energy to this person, then they'll like me, then they'll accept me. If I just, agree with their opinions, if I just agree with their values, or if I, assimilate to their values, then I'll be accepted. They might have gone through this period of people pleasing where they would almost like shape shift and contort themselves to be a version that they thought other people would like. And this is a big thing that they've healed. Like they've found their sense of self, and they've told themselves like, you deserve to be here and you don't have to change for anyone. And that's something that they stand firmly in now. I think that like having a good relationship with yourself and authenticity is something that's really important to this person, and it's something that they'll always encourage you to do as well. Like they would never want you to change who you are for them. You don't need to prove yourself to them or impress them. I think this is a very, very down to earth person. And I think this would also be the type of person, if they see you, if they see you being unkind to yourself, if they see you being hard on yourself, if they see you doubting yourself, that's the kind of thing that they will call out in a loving way, of course. Because all they want to do is support you and lift you up. And I also think that this person, because they've, this is Virgo energy, this person has a very analytical mind and is an excellent problem solver. I think that maybe, at some phase in their healing journey, they might have gone through a phase where they kind of like analyzed their emotions to death and like tried to rationalize them, which I think they've come out of that extreme now, but they do have that ability of analyzing emotions and analyzing the situation. And I think they can use that in a healthy, balanced way now, like to help others work through their problems and of course to work through their own problems. So if you ever like needed advice or support or like help making sense of things, this would be your person. Or if you just want someone to listen and not give any feedback and just acknowledge you, I think this would also be your person. I think there's something so like warm and comfortable and inviting about them, where you can just come as you are, and it's like, whatever you need, I got you. Like, what do you need today? Do you want my advice? Do you want me to just listen? Do you want me to distract you with funny videos? Do you just want me to hug you? Do you want some food? Like, they're here to take care of you in a practical way. I think this person like might have a Venus in Virgo or something, or a moon in Virgo, I don't know, with a dash of Leo. The zodiac signs are not super important, it's just what this energy is reminding me of. This person definitely has a bite in them, this like fierceness in them, but it only comes out when it needs to. I think that this person is very peaceful in general. I think they have a pretty mild temper, but if you are like threatening their peace, or if you're coming after someone that they love, then this wildcat might come out. Also, these could represent, pets that this person has, because we have like a cat, we have a bird, we have I don't know if a dolphin. No, dolphin's not a fish, it's a mammal. Yeah. But, a marine creature. So they could have a cat, a bird, a fish, or like a hedgehog. Yeah. I think that this person has a little bit of a competitive spirit, which helps them get ahead in their profession and in academics. I think it's a competition that is intellectual in nature. So it's not competitive in like the sports kind of way, but in like, I think they take pride in excelling. I think they take pride in being intelligent and doing well in their profession. And this doesn't even necessarily have to be competition with other people, although there could be a bit of that in the sense that like, if they're taking an exam, they would really like to be like at the top of the class kind of thing. But I think it's also, they're kind of in competition with their past self. So they might feel that they might have goals, like I want to make even more money than I did last year, or I want to reach even more new clients or customers than I did last year. It's kind of like they want to keep setting the bar higher for themselves. And this is something they do with discernment, right? They don't just want to get better for the sake of getting better at things, but, to keep expanding in areas that really do matter to them. And with that being said, I do think this is a progress, not perfection type of person, which I also think is something that they've recently grown into. I think they have dealt with like perfectionism or people-pleasing tendencies in the past, and it just seems like in the past few years, this person has learned to be a lot more gentle with themselves, and I think they're in a much better place to be in a relationship at this point in their life. And on that note, if this is someone you've been waiting for and you've ever had that thought of like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I not ready to meet this person? It might have been that they weren't ready. I just feel like they're in a much better place now, and they can be in a meaningful relationship, because before it seemed like they had kind of lost their sense of self, and they would just kind of bend to fit whatever mold of the person they were with. And you know, I think they've, you know, spent time on their own, and that was something that was really beneficial for them. With the Queen of Pentacles, this is definitely someone who has a really strong sense of self-worth. The Pentacles court cards have been coming out like several times in every group today. It's interesting. Yeah, so I feel like if I interpret this card, I'm just going to be reiterating a lot of stuff, because this is a strong sense of self-worth. It's also like a very warm and nurturing energy. It's a very generous energy, which is definitely something that this person has. Very down to earth. So, you know, like I said, they do have that competitive and overachieving spirit, but they're not a show-off type. You know what I mean? I think they're humble, and they get to where they want to go with good old-fashioned, honest, hard work. And I also see often with the Queen of Pentacles, she is someone who has wealth in her life. I think this person has wealth of all kinds. I think they have financial wealth, or the promise of financial wealth at the rate that they're going. And they have wealth in the sense of like they have comforts in their life, they have love in their life, they have a lot of things that make them happy. I think this person has a great support system in their life, friends and family. I think they have like varied hobbies that they enjoy doing. They have a lot of things that bring them joy. And so they don't only feel abundance like just from what's in their bank account or material things. But with that being said, any material things that they have, they share. I just had a specific image of a college student who like has like paycheck to paycheck, and then when they get paid, they will like treat their roommates to a meal, even if it's not gonna last them. They're like, I'd rather share this money that I have and like, you know, buy my roommates dinner. So maybe that's something that they do or that they have done in the past, but it was like, any little bit I get, I'm gonna share it with my friends. Otherwise, like, what's the point? Because the wealth is not in the money. The wealth is in like making my friends happy and sharing this moment together. Like, that's what life is made of. It's made of these moments of joy and connection and love. And you know, I actually do think this person is spiritual, because there's a feeling of like, when I go, I'm not going to take my money with me, but I'm always going to have my soul tribe. So, you know, I'm always going to have my soulmates. And so I just want to spoil them and shower them with love. Like, this is a very loving and generous person. It's very sweet. And I think that you'll inevitably like make friends with their friends. Some of you might already be in the same friend group as this person, or like your friends have met each other, or you could start off as friends as well. Yeah, and I think this is someone who they are understanding of everyone. You know, that doesn't mean they agree with everyone, but they try to be understanding of everyone's position. They try not to be judgmental, and they really couldn't give a shit about like money, status, fame, things like that. This is probably the type of person that, like, you know, like Shania Twain, that don't impress me much. Like, that's their vibe. Like, okay, so you have a sports car. Okay, so you're famous. Like, okay, whatever. It's like they don't really care about that kind of thing. And they will, you know, when you're at rock bottom, they will love you. When you're at the top of your career and you're a millionaire, they will love you. Like, you know, they love you for your soul. They love you for what's within. Yeah. And then over here we have the Three of Swords with release and recovery. So there could be something, when I look at this card, I want to say there's something that this person is battling, and that they are in a recovery from, but it's kind of something that maybe like never truly goes away. Like maybe there's an illness that they've battled, whether that's physical or mental, And it's like, yes, I've recovered, as in I'm living my life normally and it doesn't have control over me, but it's still something that I kind of have to be conscious of forever. You know, like yes, I've recovered, but now I have to work to maintain my recovery and, you know, stay away from triggers. So yeah, this could be like a physical or mental thing. It could be an addiction. It could be grief, like a grief that they've been through that never really goes away. But there is kind of that wound there, which I think, you know, if you're in an intimate relationship with this person, I think it would just be something that you need to be aware of. Like there might be, you know, little triggers that you should be mindful of or avoid with this person, or they might just need some special care in that sense. And yeah, I think that's really it. And I think it's just it's inspiring to see how they've risen, how they've transformed like this moth, how they've come to, it's actually really, it's like making me emotional, because I think sometimes when you struggle with these things, it can become your whole life. It can become your obsession. And so to see this person now as someone who has like a beautiful friend group and beautiful relationships and all these hobbies and things that they enjoy doing, and they find joy everywhere in the world, it's like they really beat this shit, huh? Like they really found their way out of that tunnel vision, out of that rabbit hole, and are just like a free spirit enjoying life. And it's really inspiring. Okay, so for the last part of this reading, I just looked up, by the way, and saw 3113, 3113, which is a mirroring number. So even more confirmation of like your souls mirroring each other, your journeys mirroring each other. For the last part of this reading, we're going to get some advice from your spirit guides in terms of improving and having the happiest love life possible. I'm gonna do one more shuffle. Spirit guides of group number 3. What advice do you have for group number 3 to improve their love life or to have the happiest love life possible? Again, the Ace of Wands like flipped over but didn't come out, and that's happened twice in your reading. For some reason with the Ace of Wands, the advice that I'm thinking of is to not get stuck in the same monotonous routine. Like make a point to try new things in your life, or make a point to switch things up, or to find new things that you're passionate about. And hobbies is coming back for some reason, hobbies and interests. So it's like, imagine if for the past 5 years you've had the same 3 hobbies, and it's like your spirit guides are encouraging you to find new things that might pique your interest, new things that you might be curious about, and just to shake up your routine a little bit, honestly, because the Ace of Wands, it feels like new, exciting, spontaneous, and especially because it seems like energetically you're coming into a spring season. It's time for things to be like new and fun and fresh. So I think embracing that energy will help your love life. And yeah, embracing spontaneity and adventure in your love life as well. I think a lot of it is about having more fun, being in a more lighthearted energy in your love life, not always thinking about the end goal, how are we going to end up, but thinking of what experiences can we enjoy together right now. We have completion, which this came out for group number 1 as well, and 3355 on the camera timer as I'm showing this card. And the numbers 3 and 5 together makes me think of like the 3D and the 5D. So we have the connection between, you have 3 and 5 here too. The connection between the 3D and the 5D being highlighted, and then we have completion. It seems like your soul has like completed a tough cycle of lessons, and maybe it's gone on for such a long time that it's like, imagine the end of a school year, and now, like in Canada, for example, you go to school from September to the end of June. So like 10 months basically. And then imagine waking up on the first day of summer vacation. Your brain may be still kind of in school mode and it's like, oh, I have to get up and go to school. And then you have to remind yourself like, wait, no, I don't, because it's over. So it kind of takes a while for your brain to catch up. And so I feel like your soul has gone through a really long period of learning tough lessons, and that energy has been kind of heavy, or like processing heavy energies. And now you're out of that and the energy is a lot more lighthearted, but it will take some time for your mind to catch up. Things are going to be easier and lighter now in your life, but you might still be in that mode of feeling like you need to be super reflective and introspective and like learning the tough lessons, and then be like, oh wait, no, it's time for me to enjoy my life. So I think it's just about embracing the new energy, but also being like giving yourself some grace as you adjust to the easiness. It sounds weird, but like adjusting to the ease, because it's like something that you're not used to. There may be an element of this relationship that feels quite easy to you, and then that feels weird because something in your mind tells you that it should be hard or that there should be challenges. And so it almost feels like when things are easy that you're missing something. Like things are too peaceful right now, things are too easy right now, something's fishy about this, and then your brain kind of starts to look for things that are wrong. And I think your spiritual team is just saying like, nope, it is meant to feel good. Like it's meant to be easy. That doesn't mean that relationships don't take work, but they don't have to be difficult, they don't have to be painful. And this relationship is easy, is what it feels like. Like you get along so well. And I think the advice is just about embracing that. There's also advice to make something official. So maybe like for those of you who do have a person, maybe it is time to have a heart-to-heart. Like maybe some of you need to make your relationship official, or like someone needs to tell their friends or tell their family about the relationship, or tell them something about the relationship, like being more open with people around you. And I'm not saying you have to make your relationship everyone's business, but making something known or making something official could make the relationship feel stronger in some way. Other advice for my group number 3s. We have the 3 of Wands. Interesting, because the World and the 3 of Wands are both cards that can indicate travel. Maybe some of you guys are like, this person that you're in a relationship or will be in a relationship with is like from a different country or culture than you. And maybe there's advice to learn more about each other's backgrounds. Obviously, like if you are in an international relationship or a cross-cultural relationship, opening up more to your differences or learning more about their culture could be helpful to your relationship. Some of you maybe will be learning another language for this relationship, because either like there's a language barrier between you and your person, or maybe, for example, you know, they speak the same language as you, but their parents don't. And so you learn their parents' language to be able to communicate with them. or you might be moving to be with this person or traveling to see this person. It might be long distance for some of you, although I don't feel that super strongly. I think it's more about embracing each other's backgrounds and learning about each other's backgrounds. There could also be a piece of advice with the Three of Wands to step more out of your comfort zone, or to kind of try to get comfortable with making the first move, to initiate rather than like waiting for the other person to say something or waiting for them to talk to you. This is Aries energy, by the way, so Aries energy could be significant. We have the Nine of Swords, which is Gemini energy. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Sovereign of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords. Interesting. So there's a feeling of cutting through the BS of your own negative thoughts and of your own anxieties. And more specifically, this is coming through as showing your negative thoughts who's boss, and reclaiming your power, and not being a victim to your negative thoughts. I guess I want to be careful with the wording of it, but it's like, let's say you have this negative thought in your head that's like, no one's ever gonna love me, I'm so unlovable. And so then when someone is showing you love, you're like, oh, they're just trying to be nice. Like, you know, when you have an insecurity, then you'll just seek out things to confirm it. Or I should say that insecurity in your brain is just looking for things to confirm it. So like if you think you're really ugly, for example, then anytime someone tells you otherwise, like if someone says you're beautiful, you're gonna be like, oh, they're lying. Like they're lying, they're just saying that to be nice, or, you know, or their opinion doesn't count. You'll just find some way to discredit it so that you can keep believing your negative BS. And I think that you guys might have some negative BS in your brain that is very strong, which is not a judgment, by the way, because like same. But there's a feeling of being a little bit more tough with it, or just like cutting the BS. And there's this feeling of almost like our insecurity, we've been too much like a victim to it, or like we've wanted to be coddled about it. I'm trying to be really careful, but it's like, you know, let's say you're in that mindset of like, no, nobody loves me, I'm so unlovable. And it's like we want to treat our insecurity like, oh no, what do you mean? No, like you're so lovable. But maybe what we need is a little bit of like a stop it. Like, do you hear yourself right now? And because it also, like, these things can hurt your loved ones too. If you're saying, and like I can call myself out as well, because I have had this insecurity of like people don't care about me, and you don't realize when you're in that frame of mind, but it's actually like pretty rude to tell your significant other that they don't care about you, you know, and like it will hurt them too, but that's not how you see it in your mind. But I think you just have to kind of be aware of the BS that your insecurities cause, and maybe it's like, don't be a victim to them. I guess there's no way for me to say this that doesn't sound harsh, but it's like to not just become a victim to them and become complacent in them, but be like, this is some bullshit. Like, I need to snap the fuck out of this because I'm hurting myself and I'm hurting the people I love with this BS. And it's like a little bit of tough love, I guess. So, you know, that's the only way I can say it. So, yeah. And it's said with love, loving advice. So anyway, group number 3s, these are all of the messages that I have for you. So I'm gonna end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of exclusive timeless pick a card readings just like this one. You can also decide the topics for future videos. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, I will link my vlog channel and my merch, which includes the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here. And I'm sending lots of love to you, to your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.